Hi guys, Martin, mcfcfantv. Welcome to our post-match reaction, and we've got a couple of guests with us. We've got Kurt. How are you doing, buddy?
As well it can be expected after getting beaten 5-2 at home.
Yeah. And Tom is back on the channel. Tom, how are you, buddy? Tom, can you hear us, mate? Right, I think we're just struggling with Tom's connection, and I know Karl is going to come and join us in a bit. So let's get straight into it. I'm just going to say a few hellos, and then we'll try and dissect that performance as best we can. Kamal, this is a wake-up call to Pep and the players. All this will do is make Pep more hungry. Bloody hope so. Need a new left-back, though, and a centre-back and a striker. Yeah. James Josie beat they beat us with pens. They didn't just beat us with pens, mate. It wasn't just pens. Nothing to be worried about. A lot of key players missing. I'm worried, mate. Little City staying your lair. Here we go. The idiots are them. While Laporte did play. What a jar. I can't see us winning the league this year. Well, Leicester beat us with 3 pens. Nothing to be proud about. Well, it was 2 pens, mate, not 3. Oh no, it was 3 pens and then they scored, but 2 cracking goals as well. Let's not be silly here. They scored 3 pens, but there was a lot. I don't just want to say it was 3 penalties and that's what beat us, because our performance second half was a shambles. Brian Coddy, can't wait for the ratings live stream tomorrow. I think I'm going away. I'll be back. I need a few. All the City players deserve 0 rating. Anything more is a lie. Jack Lee, absolute bobbins. Graham Leatherbarrow, defence needs to be Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, ASAP. Needs to get rid of the ones who had their chance. Mendy is a liability. An accident that will happen again. Garcia far too weak and must go. Seemed like a rigged game to me. Oh, come on, Joseph. Leeds United could beat us the way we played today. Guys, let's not be too knee-jerk and start this Pep out and we're rubbish and everything else, because I get it was not great. What I'm more interested in is why for 40 minutes we were banged on, battering Leicester all over. They couldn't get near us, and then they got a penalty, and then we completely capitulated from the penalty onwards. Because for 40 minutes we were in the driving seat of that game, absolutely in the driving seat of it. So, Kurt, explain it to me, buddy, because I'm just yeah.
Well, I was in the live chats with the comments the whole game, and the first 35 minutes I thought was really good. We controlled the game. We had most of the ball. It felt like Leicester was sitting off us for the first half. I think a key moment in the first half for me was Fernandinho missing the free header to take us 2-0 up. Going into halftime, you're like, oh, very unlucky. It's annoying to concede a penalty. You're upset at Walker for conceding a penalty. 1-1. You're thinking, no, we can go again. We can step up in the second half. We can take the win. And then we come out in the second half, and every single player's performance level, even if they weren't good in the first half, dropped even lower. For example, Garcia made quite a few good interceptions, made a great recovery tackle in the first half, and then in the second, it just went down and down and down, and didn't look like a player in the forward half for our team couldn't do anything with the ball. No progression, no real penetration. We only had 5 shots on target the whole game. It was a very, very strange performance. It was the first time in a very long time that I've had every player in the team performing quite badly. I think Ake was the best of the bad bunch, but yeah, I don't know what happened in that second half. The only thing I can think about is Fernandinho came off and we looked open down the middle when he came off. But I don't know if it was a knock or if it was a tactical change.
I'm just going to bring Tom in because I think Tom's ready now. He's switched over to his phone. So let's see. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tom is back. How are you, buddy?
I'm okay. Very stressful after watching that. Obviously,
You don't say.
Would you like me to start with my points?
I'm scared of coming to you at the minute.
All right. Okay.
Because I know we're going to start with Ederson and go all the way through. I know where we're going with this.
Back to front.
Go on, Tom. Off you go.
Right then. So I'm gonna start with a basic sort of fact. Our defence don't know how to defend goal side. That's one thing that we can clearly state from that game. You know, they get paid so much, and it's basic defending that they aren't. You know, they're not defending properly. Like, I know what you guys are saying. Nathan played well. You know, he was covering Mendy for 45 minutes, and then he covered Mendy in the second half too. Garcia, I can't see why we're playing him. I understand why in this aspect, because we don't have any more defenders to put there. I don't know why. I don't know why we didn't play, I don't know, Rodri or Fernandinho. We need people that need to play, are passionate to play. You know, that was proven last season. You know, obviously when Fernandinho went off, we did look slightly weakened. Well, very much weakened because we conceded 4 goals. But nobody played. Obviously, Barake, nobody played well. Nobody played well, and it was all right. It was okay, right? Talking about Beardy. Yeah, I'm going it out. That's the only good thing to come out of this bloody football. Yeah.
Hey, tell you what, me and you can have a competition at who can have the best beard. Me and you.
Right, we can do that. We can do that. Anyway, yeah. So, you know, I'm not going to go into Ederson, but you know, it's basic goalkeeping on some of it. You know, he needs to improve on how to save a penalty. You know, he just stands there. I know with penalties that you're supposed to at least sort of put some sort of passion into it. You know, he didn't even move on his line. But you know, it's not Ederson to blame for this. So I'm not going to go into my Ederson opinions because it's not really where we're looking. It's the defence and the other 10 players that are on the pitch that need to have a look at themselves, because to come to the Etihad full or empty and concede 5 goals is a disgrace. It is a complete disgrace, and they all need to look at themselves. They all need to look at themselves, and we've got rid of Otamendi, and I know people are going to criticise me for this probably, but Otamendi wouldn't have let that happen if he was playing today. No way would he have let that happen. He would have kept goal side, and every time he's played against Jamie Vardy, he has kept him quiet. But obviously he's gone, and we're going to get Ruben Dias in. So, you know, winner, chicken dinner and all that sort of thing. So, you know, I guess that's a good thing that's going to come out of it. But it needs to happen quickly. Laporte needs to come back in, and Cancelo, when he comes back, needs to be the first choice left back. And I'm not just saying that because I like Cancelo. It's facts, because he's the only bloody player out of those guys, Zinchenko, Mendy, and him, that actually can defend. You know what I mean? It's like people criticise me saying, "Oh, Cancelo's not good enough," and all this and that. He's been the best left back that's played there in the past 12 months by far. Mendy can't defend. He can attack, but he can't get back. And Zinchenko's just woeful anyway, so that makes no difference. So Cancelo's the only sort of player that gives you some sort of defensive capabilities. So the strongest defence for us moving forward is Walker. Well, after saying that, after watching that, he didn't exactly play well, but you know, he's been good over the past 12 months. So probably Walker, obviously Diaz if he comes in, Laporte and Cancelo, because that needs to be the one to move forward. But we haven't spent well enough. I said this last week in my post-match fan cam. Look what happens when Jesus... I said watch it. I said you watch what happens when Jesus gets injured. First game back, we lose 5-2. And I don't know why he's starting Delap on the bench. I don't get that. I do not get that whatsoever. As much as I like Sterling... Sterling, as much as he's a good player, he's not a striker. Just like he can't play on the left. Sterling on the right should have been how it had been, and how he played, the formation that he played with the 3 midfielders behind the single striker could have been still like that, playing Foden on the left, De Bruyne, Sterling, and then Delap up front. It's basic. If you've got a striker on the bench, use him, because as much as you try and form these wingers into strikers, it never works, because a striker like Delap, who's hungry and eager to prove a point, bearing in mind the two main choice strikers are injured, to prove a point, he's going to put his heart on the line for it. And he didn't get enough opportunities when he came on, and he was probably the closest to scoring in that second half when he came on, and he only had one attempt.
Well, I'm just going to bring in Alan. Alan said cheeky is the problem. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to bring Karl in, and then I'm going to read some. Karl has now joined us.
I just want to...
How are you, Martin? Kurt, Tom, how are you?
Hello, mate.
I've had the best 2.5 hours, mate. I don't know about you lot.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through. I can't read every comment. There's 230 of you on right now. Thank you. I know some of you have come for a gloat and a laugh and a giggle and everything else. But if you're there, thanks for the view. But also hit the like button at least and subscribe. Andy's just put, at the start of the season, we wanted 2 centre-backs and a sign replacement. We're going to get 3 of those. Maybe a left-back is needed. I'm also going to say we needed a striker. We needed a striker. I said this 3 months ago. We need to stop waiting for this. Oh, the day Aguero goes, then we bring in somebody in. You know, because we've gone 2 years without bringing Vinny's replacement in. Finally, we're now going to do it. You know, like I said, the board watched Man City on TV and have listened to me after 7-8 months, banging on about Ruben Dias. They finally listened. But Karl, your thoughts on the game, buddy?
Not surprised, Martin. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. When you plan poorly, you get poor results, period. I don't care if you're Einstein. I don't care if you're Neil Armstrong. I don't care if you're Elon Musk. If you don't plan properly, you're going to get trash. You're going to get garbage, which is what we saw. We shouldn't be in a position as an elite organization where we're waiting for the league has already started and we're looking to get a center back after 450 days. It's not appropriate. I really don't care. It's not appropriate. It's not. It's not how high functioning organizations perform. No, it's not. So 5-2, that's what you get. And Liam Delap is a striker, natural. Why Sterling playing through the middle? Why? Why Sterling playing on the left? He can't play on the left. He's supposed to be on the right. Why is Garcia, who's going to Barcelona, we know he's slow, playing as a centre back?
Because they had no one else. They had no one else.
That's what I was going to say. The options were so limited, and I think the reason Delap didn't start was because he played the full 90 3 days prior.
Yeah,
remember, we got 13 fit players.
Change to a back 3. Change it. Garcia can't play against Vardy. Vardy's too quick. Play Walker centre back. Look for
Can I just play double advocate on that? Because for 40 minutes, Garcia was great.
Yeah, but it was Leicester's game plan. Right? Leicester's game plan was to sit back and counterattack when the opportunity presented itself.
No, I get what you're saying. You look at Garcia in the first half, he made 2 or 3 saving challenges.
I agree.
And then the second half, I don't know whether he had a brain fire while he was in the dressing room or what he did, but he just stopped doing everything. I mean, I get Leicester changed as well.
Correct.
I get Leicester changed their tactics, but that was literally a game of 2 halves for someone like Garcia. I agree with you. Under normal circumstances, he should be nowhere near the 11. He said he wants out. He said he wants to go. Bye-bye. But my issue is here. He had no choice today because Otamendi's doing his medical for Benfica. He couldn't have played today. Could you give Taylor Howard-Bellis a go? I don't know. Is it too soon for the lad?
He played well last. I mean, he played okay in the game against Bournemouth.
I think it's a case of he just couldn't play because the minutes they played the 90 on the thing we're so restricted in the players we have available to us, and we all know that Pep likes to put people that aren't strikers in the false 9 or the centre forward position, and often it doesn't work. So it was difficult. There was not many options, not many cards to play with for Pep today in terms of selection.
That's fair. It's fair. It's just I wasn't surprised. I just expected this to happen again. You just can't at this level. You can't have a season start and you're still scrambling around for a centre back and a left back and a striker. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, let's dissect the game because that's where we're here. I don't want to go into. We'll talk about transfers as we're going along because I've got a theory. Listen, might not be made, but might not all agree with it, but it's my opinion, my 6 pence. The first goal, great goal by Mahrez, great start. You know, people, I'm not going to be honest, it was the only thing Mahrez probably did in the game today. He did have a poor game. And you know me, I defend Mahrez to the hill. And Tom will tell you that all day long. I defend Mahrez. Today, apart from the goal, which was a blinding half volley, right foot, everyone says he's one-footed. My God, he wasn't one-footed today. But, and then he stopped. And then we stopped. And the thing was, we had the Fernandinho header, which should have gone in. I have watched it back. Maybe it was a yard or two just behind him. It didn't help. But you expect to at least put it either side of the keeper there. It's a goal. Rodri's was offside. Goal disallowed. So for 40 minutes, we were there. We were. I mean, I said it in the watch along. I think Kurt mentioned it as well. In the first 3 or 4 minutes, you know how City are going to play. Because we came out with a tempo and a purpose today. And then second half, I mean, I will say I think Jamie Vardy was very quiet for 40 minutes. And then all of a sudden, but we were letting Harvey Barnes run at us all day long. I think I said in my commentary, we have to stop these pulsating runs from Harvey Barnes through us. Now, whether that was Rodri had to do something to do that, to stop it, Fernandinho, the double pivot that works at Wolves didn't work today. Didn't work. It just stopped working.
Well, I think
I necessarily agree with that, because when Fernandinho went off, I think was when the large majority of the problems got off. And that's not to say that Fernandinho was exceptional in the first half, because his progressive balls weren't very good. He lost possession multiple times. It wasn't like he had an amazing game, but the solidity, because Rodri just always gets pulled wide, forward, high when he plays alone. And it happened again, and we got cut open down the flanks.
I get what Colin Mack's saying. All I'm going to say is go and have a look at 2 tackles that he made, were goal-saving tackles that he made. So he did. Garcia did do something for 40 minutes. It wasn't like he had no pressure on him, because he did make 2 goal-saving challenges for me. Or good chances anyway that Leicester had. One of them was from Harvey Barnes that he won the goal kick from. Tackled him and he won it through. And then the back line, I mean, Ake was the best of the back 4. I will say there was a ball he played where you can tell he's new to the Pep system, because he just whacked it up the field like he was still at Bournemouth, where I don't think he won't be doing that in 3 months. I'll tell you that straight away. He won't be doing that. He's got to learn. It's his second game. So we can't dive into Ake.
Well, maybe we need to be flexible. Maybe sometimes you whack it away, right, and get the ball out so you can at least keep the pressure off you. Maybe that's what helped us. Maybe we're too predictable, right? Playing the high line, moving the ball left to right, no penetration through the middle. Foden was missing. Play him as a number 8. You know, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, it just seems like
for a while. We all said Foden was David Silva's replacement. He hasn't played there yet. He hasn't actually gone and played in David Silva's position.
I remember listening to Micah Richards was talking about this on one of the broadcasts, and he was saying that he doesn't necessarily see him as a Silva replacement. He sees him in the replacement in terms of being between the lines and making the breaking passes, but Phil's a bit more of a dynamic player than David. He runs more. He's more of a goal scorer than him. They are different people, but he's got a lot of qualities that David Silva also had, but today wasn't a good game for him.
Yeah, and if you got Mendy, for me, I think Mendy's done. I'm sorry. It's just, I've given him a long rope, and for me, I think he looks overweight, slow. Right now, if we have a big game, it's going to be Ake, Laporte, Diaz, and maybe Walker or Cancelo. I think that's probably it, because I don't see how he can get back to the level he was at. It just no, we can't play a high line with Mendy as a left back. If you ask me.
I mean, there's some stats, aren't there? First time in 686 games as a manager, Pep Guardiola seen his side concede 5 goals. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses. Are we in unprecedented times in terms of COVID and the games? There's 10 games in 4. Well, there's a stupid amount of games in a stupid amount of time. And we are bare bones with injuries right now. We are bare bones. Is it just too much for the players right now?
Martin, why do we have the rash of injuries that we have compared to our rivals? what's going on behind the scenes? Do we get so many injuries? Why? Somebody should ask the question. How come?
We've had multiple injuries on the international front, though, right? Which is not stuff that we can control. I don't particularly even know why internationals are really even being played. It seems kind of ridiculous.
That I agree with. Why we're playing internationals right now, I do not know. I said it. The Carabao Cup shouldn't have gone ahead. That should have been gone. We should have looked after and protected the players there. I think Pep's even come out and said it.
Yeah.
We need to protect the players there. We're driving them on.
No rest at all.
No, they've had no rest. We've had no pre-season. We've not had one pre-season game, and we've sent them out like cattle to off they go. And if you go back 7 months ago when all this started, I said there was going to be injuries due to this. There was going to be problems. We've had Laporte and Mahrez who've had COVID, unfortunately, so they've not trained properly. They've not trained. Aguero suddenly had this. He was back. Now he's off for 2 months. But he's quite happily to jump off the side of boats into the ocean and everything else that he's doing, and jump around on his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel and everything else that he's doing. Because if you watch Aguero, he's jumping around on his
very
table
lively,
and everything else. But he's got a knackered knee apparently. So someone needs to tell me what is going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've all seen that Aguero video.
Yeah.
That isn't someone with a knackered knee right now. Sorry, it's not.
Yeah, something's not right. In my opinion, there's something not right that we're not aware of. But I think it'll be revealed at some point in time. When you see Sterling's reaction on Wednesday to Pep, when you see Fernandinho today again, something's not right, Martin.
Well, Pep's not right, is he? If you look at his pre-match conferences, he's not happy. And right now, I'm going to be straight with you. I think the current circumstances, I'm not making excuses, are not helping. He's not with his family. His mother died. It will affect you big style. Big style. He's got nobody around him.
Yeah.
He's not had Pep for 2 weeks because he had to quarantine.
Yeah.
So, like Kurt said, we've had a start from hell. From hell.
Martin, it goes back to planning. It goes back to the whole planning.
But you can't plan for COVID.
Well, I mean, but you knew Liverpool planned properly for the most part. How come they don't have injuries? Or Tottenham have injuries?
Because Liverpool were out the Champions League early.
Well, ever since Liverpool stole our medical guy for the injuries, they've had a great injury record, and we've had a terrible one. It's it's not coincidental.
Correct.
It was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't remember the exact time. Yeah,
that's right, Kurt. Absolutely correct. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's one game, but something needs to change. Something needs to change. I don't know what it is. You have Liam Delap, who scored a goal, a beautiful goal this week, a beautiful goal, a really intelligent, smart, aggressive goal against, a tough Bournemouth, and we put him on the bench. We replaced Sterling through the middle. It just, I don't understand it.
Like I said, Karl, I think it's just because he's going to play Delap on Wednesday against Burnley in the Cup.
Yeah, but you can write to me, we don't need the Carabao Cup. We've won it 3 times already.
Yeah, I know, but I can only assume that Pep felt that starting Sterling in the 9 position would be more advantageous for us against Leicester than starting Delap in that position. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're right, Kurt.
I'm reading some of these comments, and now it's Sterling's crap, sell him, and we're getting rid of everyone apparently, according to the comments. Everyone's out this. We can't, guys. This is not. This is what I said. We don't want knee-jerk reactions to all of a sudden the world's collapsing and sell everybody out the door. That isn't going to happen. That is just not going to happen. We've not become a bad team overnight. I do think, and I'm not making excuses, the situation right now has not been helped through no pre-season, no COVID, because due to COVID, no games, and these stupid internationals and Carabao Cup that we're playing for no. I don't understand. I mean, we've got a game Carabao Cup again next week.
Yeah.
What's that about? Tom, am I overreacting here, or what is going on here with these fixtures?
You can hear you.
Come on. There we go. Well, no, you're not overreacting whatsoever. You're not overreacting whatsoever. We're it's getting to a point now where we're tired, I think. we didn't really have a proper rest. You know, I know they gave us an extra week, but that's not made much difference, has it? Really, let's be honest. And nothing's changed. Nothing's changed since we were sat here after we lost against Lyon. We've brought in Nathan Ake, who's played pretty well today, and we brought in Ferran Torres.
No, man of the match.
Bar that, nobody, as of yet, we haven't brought anybody else in. And, you know, we've always said, let's bring in the world beaters, let's spend a bit of money to make this team get to the next level. But we're spending money and it's not being successful. I can name me 5 players that Pep signed that have not been successful and have either gone or are going to go. You know, look, Nolito, Stones, he's probably going to go. Mendy's not done great. Angelino came in and was gone within 2 weeks. Work that one out. And then there's so many. And, you know, people say Mahrez hasn't lived up to it. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. There was no need to play. The international was needed whatsoever. Internationals was needed. And with the Carabao Cup, it's a good competition. You know, we've done really well in it over the past few years, but that's not done us any good either. I don't see why they need to play anything other than the Premier League and maybe the Champions League in January or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, the only correlation I would say is that if you look at today, Bayern Munich lost 4-1 away at Hoffenheim. PSG have had a difficult start to their season. They lost 2 games in a bounce. I guess 1 last week. PSG, Real Madrid also had a difficult game yesterday. So it looks like all the teams that were in the Champions League quarterfinals and the Euro League have struggled to kind of get started again. So maybe that's a correlation. Maybe that's so, you know.
And they've had to just go on an international camp, so they've not had any time with the managers because they go on international camps. A lot of them have to quarantine for 2 weeks when they're re-entering because they're coming from different countries. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just crazy. With the cup stuff, I can understand why they kept the EFL Cup and the FA Cup, but as far as the international stuff, it's ridiculous.
No, I understand what you're saying.
That's the stuff that's crazy.
I'm saying, could we not have spread it? And I understand we've started late. We've only started 4 weeks later than any normal. It's not like we've gone a month or 2 after.
Yeah, it's very difficult because I don't know how the fixture list could have been done differently. I haven't looked into it or thought of. There's much smarter people looking into it than me, So I don't know. I can only assume they tried to make the best of a bad situation because it's not good for a lot of clubs. It's not just us. Everyone's dealing with the same stuff, but we've also had just an exceptional amount of players unavailable. It's just
we have had a super chat. Man City for life. Thank you very much, buddy. Sorry, I just believe we were all full shows. We missed Jesus. I mean, listen to this list. Jesus, Aguero, Bernardo, Laporte, Kounde. I don't think Ferran is good. Well, right. I'm going to come to Ferran Torres in a minute because I think we're being a bit harsh here on Ferran. Are we judging a guy now after 45 minutes?
We're going to judge a guy who didn't even have a pre-season.
Yeah.
Never. How many training sessions has he had with Pep?
Yeah, exactly. That's just
like, come on.
Let's not go.
Give him 6 months. Give him 6 months, and then we can start looking at performances and on like a critical level.
It's like someone saying to Bayern Munich fans, "Oh, Sane is crap because he didn't do well in the game today," and it's just.
Oh, Karl, the fans doing that. There are Bayern fans right now doing it.
Fans of every club that do that when someone comes in and they don't perform. But adaptation times, even in a normal scenario, you'd give someone 6 months with a full preseason. So what would you give a player with no preseason? And he was on international as well. He was on his debut, so he was over with the Spanish squad. So
Bailey, everyone's facing these circles, not just Bailey. What you don't realise is, mate, you got knocked out of the Champions League nice and early,
and all the cups.
And out of all the cups nice and early. So you don't have to worry about going deep. We finished, I think it was 2 weeks after you, 3 weeks after you. So you've played 3 or 4 preseason games. Do you know how many Manchester City have played? 0. Nothing.
Yeah, the Charity Shield's an extra preseason.
Yeah. So you had the Community Shield. We've had nothing. We got our players back a week ago. And they've been rolled out to play again. And we had a game Saturday, a game Tuesday, a game today, and then we've got another game. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday we play Burnley?
Wednesday.
So, yeah, I'm not saying, not an excuse, but we've got an injury list longer than we've got we've got 12 right now, count them, 12 fit players.
I think a fair thing to do, Martin. How many first-team players did Leicester have out today?
All of them except
just as a comparison. I'm not because obviously every club's different. Just as a comparison, because that was the team that we're playing today. Of their main starting 11, they had Pereira right out now, and a lot of people would probably have Castagna playing over him because he's come in and been amazing for them. So I can't think of anyone else. Madison was on the bench; he didn't start, but he was still available.
Indeed, he was out today.
Indeed, he was out. It's a big miss for them. But the 2-3 players of their whole squad, that pretty much everyone else was available of the starters compared to us. And how many starters did we have unavailable? There's a lot. It wasn't a good game today, but there's reasons why it's not been good for this. Not going to be good for a start for us for the season.
Well, I'm going to say, I will say, do we all think there were penalties? Has anyone got any?
Yeah, they were all 3 were pens.
Has anyone got any difference on that? Because I think they were all penalties. Maybe a bit soft on one, but it was a penalty.
Well, the thing is, Martin, with Michael Oliver being the referee, he's going to give it. He's going to give it.
You know the worst bit, Karl? I said he had a good game the first 30 minutes.
I don't think he had a bad game, Karl.
I think he done well. I don't think he made too many mistakes.
No, what I mean by that is he always gives soft penalties. He always gives.
The thing is, if the striker gets goal side, you've got to let him go.
Yeah.
You concede the shot.
Yeah.
The second penalty from Garcia, that was because he didn't have a clue where Vardy was. And by the time he turned around, Vardy was in front of him and he's clipping his heels and he's no choice. He had no directional sense whatsoever, Garcia on Vardy. He didn't know where he was. But that's where the communication has to come in through the back line to say, man on you. Or you say something. You don't just let Garcia turn him with his face one way. Vardy comes around the back of him and cuts across. He can't do anything there, Garcia. He was done for.
Yeah. And then get beaten at your near post as well.
And then you've
got to cover the angle of the near post there.
That's where Ederson or Wilson, I agree with Tom on that. Ederson should not be getting beat at his near post like that easily. That should not be happening. I will agree with Tom on that. Joe Hart saves them 9 times out of 10 all day. That's where. So I do agree with Tom a little bit on the Ederson. I'm not having a go. I love Ederson. But the third goal was a little bit. And the fourth goal, nothing you can do. It's a world-class shot from Harvey Barnes. It's going in. It's world-class. Garcia stood off him. Off him too long.
Yeah.
And listen, it's very much like Mahrez's goal. 9 times out of 10, they're going in row Z.
Yeah.
1 in 10, they're going in the back of the net. And Mahrez's goal, 9 times out of 10, he's going row Z. He hits it plump straight in the top corner. Same with Harvey Barnes. But for me, Harvey Barnes was their best player today. He absolutely destroyed us today, for me.
Well, the thing about it is, Martin, if we're going to play a high line, there's one requirement we must have: quick centre-backs who can recover. If you don't have quick centre-backs who can recover, you're done.
Was it Madison who scored there? I thought it was Barnes.
Yeah.
Was it Madison?
It was Madison.
Sorry, my apologies. It was Madison.
Yeah, you have to have quick centre-backs who can recover. Yeah. Ake did well. I was impressed with Ake. I thought he did well, covering himself with some kudos. But Garcia is just not quick enough. Walker mistakes. Mendy's too slow. We're going to be serious.
This is a great point by Mr. Anonymous. Anyone with pace will destroy City's defence. That I agree with.
That's been the case for a long time.
Yeah,
we struggle with pace.
Yeah. So, look at all the games. Lyon, pace. Man United twice or 3 times, pace.
Wolves.
And then we end up with this idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, there are always people like that there, right?
You see what I mean? Yeah, relegation.
Like 20 years too late, mate.
I had an Arsenal fan coming on here during the watch-along giving it large. When was the last time Arsenal finished above City? Do me a favour. Karl, no excuse, guys. Pepper's had enough money and time. Right, I said this in the watch-along. I don't think in the last 3 years we have spent hardly any money. And people laugh at me.
You're right.
What you're on about.
You're right.
We spent 60 million on Mahrez.
Yeah.
We spent 60 million on Rodri, 62 million on Rodri, and we bought Cancelo. But remember, Danilo went the other way. So it wasn't like it was virtually a straight swap.
It was like net 150 or something, right, over the last 3.
And then we've not done anything in January. I think the last player we bought in January was Laporte, am I right?
Yep.
Is it Laporte, the last person we bought in January?
Correct.
So people say Pep's been backed. Has he? Kurt, has he been backed? Or was it just that one big transfer window where we got Mendy, Ederson, and everybody else where he was backed? Because right now, I'm not saying he's been backed.
When he first came in, obviously the first season, we all knew we needed a real revamp of the back line. He got the money. He got a lot of money to do that. He brought in players. Danilo wasn't, obviously, I don't know if he wasn't happy here being second fiddle and wanted to go. Then we got in Cancelo. So that was like a like for like. There's nothing really improvement. It's second guy on the right. It's no change there. We haven't brought in a second left back for Mendy. We've had, obviously, multiple players play in there in that position. I think over the last 3 seasons, I would agree with you. I don't think he's been back to the extent that is needed to sustain winning the amount of things we've won over the last few years. It's backing in the sense of we're not. It's not like we're selling our best players and we've got no one coming in. It's not that type of not backing, but it's the type of backing where like the previous times we won the title, after the year after we buy middling players that aren't going to come in and improve our team, like Javi Garcia and players like that. The geezer is like Sunderland and did nothing with his life. Rodwell, players like that. So over the last 3 years, what players have we bought that have improved our starting 11? I think that's probably the more accurate question to ask.
Yeah. Kurt, can you just do me a favour, mate? Can you look at the camera? Because you look like you're talking to someone next to you, mate.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
No, mate, don't worry about it. Tom, he's having issues with he was on his phone, so Tom may come back, so I do apologise, guys. There was something I just wanted to bring up. What's my opinion on Ruben Dias? I will come to that in a bit. I want to finish this before we go into the Ruben Dias. So, my G Zach, promise you we will come to Ruben Dias. One Choppy Dickoff says it's the system that leaves us open to be attacked. The pace Pep plays to a high line, but that's what you get with a Pep team. You play the high line and you will get caught out sometimes. I've always said to people when they talk Pep, I said, you will take a risk. That's the idea. We will get goals scored against us. We take a risk. That's the idea. Now, if you remember, I think it was the first season or the second, someone went, they figured us out. I think it was when we went to Leicester and John Stones got caught out in the corner by Vardy then as well. As we know, Vardy loves scoring against us. But we do get caught out, but that's when we had Bravo at the time. And he tried to fix it by bringing in Ederson, who distributes the ball better and quicker. And we were fine. We went on with Centurions. And then the year after, we went on that 14-game winning run. Here's my question to it then. Karl and Kurt. We'll start with Karl, and then we'll go with Kurt. Are we saving our money? Are we keeping powder dry for something we don't know about here? Because I'm not believing we've no money. I do think COVID's an issue. Got to remember, we were due to start back with fans in October. That's now been pushed back to March, and probably, let's be honest here, we won't have fans till the end of the season.
Probably not, no.
We've not furloughed our staff like some clubs have. Not mentioning any names down the M62. Our lovely people who want to nick our scouts, nick everything else, and then try and furlough the staff. Tottenham furlough the staff and then go and buy Dale. Makes loads of sense, that. So we haven't done anything like that. We've kept all our staff employed, happy and paid and fed with roofs over their head during a very, very difficult time. So is this COVID, or are we keeping powder dry for something else?
Yeah, for me, Martin, the tea leaves seem to me to point towards something that we don't know, that we suspect, that this may be his last year. And if it's going to be his last year, which it is currently, by the way, factually it is his last year currently, why would you want to splash out, exorbitant amounts of money for players that a potential next manager may not necessarily want or fit that person's system? Right. And until he signs a new contract, that's still going to be the case, in my opinion.
Kounde said they're very relaxed over that situation. That can be sorted out any time.
Show me the evidence of that. Until you sign, it's not done. Period. We know what happened to Jorginho, for example. We thought he had signed, right? And then what happened to it? Turned around.
That was down to the Napoli owner as well, wasn't it?
Well, I just feel there's something not right. Something's not right. This is not the normal way. Think about 17-18 season, even 18-19 for the most part. There was a vibe, there was an enthusiasm, something just doesn't seem to be right. Press conferences, some of the players, some of the signings have come in late. When our first pick didn't come in. We need a striker. Clearly, we need a striker. Now 2 are injured. We have Liam Delap coming in. It just feels weird. Something's not right.
Alex Deaton, totally agree with you, mate. Lads, if you don't support City and you come for a laugh, you've come to give us a view, so you might as well go full hog now.
I like that.
Don't go half-cock with it, guys. Come on, give it a like, give it a subscribe. It makes sense, because City will get a beat again. You can come back and have another laugh. But yeah, thanks for the views, guys. You think you're coming damaging us, Tom, are we keeping up the draw for something, or are we really have times changed now with COVID?
God knows. And it's a good job I've had really bad Wi-Fi tonight, because I'd have torn them all apart. So it's a good job it wasn't another Leon repeat, innit? Because it's a good job. I think the Wi-Fi's obviously realised that we've lost, and he's going to keep going out signals. So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what's going to happen. God knows when me and you will be outside the Etihad again. That's that. I don't know if that's even going to be normal anymore. COVID is going to. It's a big change, innit? It's a big change. You look at these games at 1-1. Would we have turned that around? The atmosphere and all that. A lot of these games now are high scoring. You look at Liverpool Leeds 4-3. Chelsea West Brom 3-3. I don't think that would have been a 3-3 game if West Brom had had the Hawthorns full.
Hang on. You missed the other Leeds 4-3 game.
Yep. Oh, yep. I don't want to blow too much smoke up the backsides, because I know there'll be about 50 of them watching on this stream who are Leeds fans from my local areas. And we've got them next. We've got them next.
You'll be getting all excited now.
Yeah, I in Germany though, they do have fans in the stadium. There was the Bayern game today had fans in the stadium, and it was quite good. So it all depends on.
Yeah, but they haven't got a COVID rate like we've got, man.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately,
but that's a different situation, because people in England are not being clever at the moment, and they're not behaving, and we're not following the rules.
At least they're better than what we're doing here in the US. I tell you that.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Kurt, one thing I will say is what happened with FIFA. Are we trying to be good?
I said to you just before we went off. I was thinking about it after the other week, and I was thinking, is there a potential that we're holding a bit of money back in case in Jan we might go in for Messi again and try and get a pre-contract, try and pep up, redo Aguero, boom, bam, bosh, amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And if it doesn't work, and if it ain't going to be that, is it going to be we're going to be not spending any money because it might be Pep going out at the end of the season, not renewing. And he's already said that, and he said, look, at the end of the day, don't buy a bunch of players for me, keep some purse strings for the next guy. So I don't know if it's one of those. It might be neither of those, but they're the two thoughts that I had on that for the money front. I don't know nothing about finances. I don't know how COVID affects football. I just don't know.
No, listen. Nobody on here is a financial expert. We don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's they're the two thoughts that cross my mind as potential likely scenarios. But maybe it's just we don't want to go over a certain price. Maybe we just don't want to go over 70 mil. Maybe we just don't want to spend that type of money on one guy. Maybe it's just that.
Well, SOS 66, COVID has to affect us to a certain extent. I said this, we are not immune to it. No club is immune to it. Trust me now. There's not, I mean, bar Tottenham and bar Chelsea, nobody's really spending. Nobody's really spending.
Especially in countries like Spain and Italy, it's loan deals, swap deals, things like that, part exchanges,
Look at Barcelona. They're going after, they can't afford
cancelling contracts, all sorts.
Barcelona ain't got no money. Real Madrid ain't got no money. Nobody's buying big players right now. And, well, someone made a point, I'm going to bring it up further down. Mbappe said he's out after the year. Are we thinking we've got to keep 12 months dry air to bring in? Because I did say this to Chris Baker. Aguero's replacement, and when I'll come to Karl with this, Aguero's replacement, Karl, ain't going to be cheap. Ain't going to be cheap.
Well, if it took us 460 days to get Diaz, probably take us 800 days to get Aguero's replacement. And the way we're operating right now, because it's just not something. It's just not right.
All right. Has someone just missed on Torres better improve? I give up.
He's not even had a full game.
I give up sometimes.
He's not even had a full half, the poor guy.
How many training sessions has he had? That's the real question I want to know. I would really, it's an honest question. I would love to know how many actual training sessions he's had with Pep. Or just because he did his international. Who knows?
A lot of
he's a brand new player. He's
trolls. They just troll.
No one played well today apart from Ake, and Ake didn't have. It's not like he had a 10 out of 10 performance.
Well, Stingray, he's a Liverpool fan, but he seems a sensible one. Liverpool fan here since you're off company, things ain't been replaced, mate. We know this. Now, finally, it looks like Ruben Dias is coming in the door. We've tried Koulibaly. We've tried Kounde. Tom's shaking his head because I know where this is going. Yeah. I'm coming to you last. You're quite down there in the corner. You're last. I know where you're going with it. I want to get Martin was right first out. Ruben Dias. He captained the team last night. He said his goodbyes. He gave the manager a hug. I will go to Tom first. Tom. Ruben Dias, you don't look happy about it, mate.
No, I'm absolutely buzzing about it.
All right then.
No, I am. No, I'm buzzing about it, but it's just another thing because if he comes in and doesn't settle in for 5 games, he'll get the same grief because we're not going to get a Vincent Kompany replacement no matter what. Fair enough. The closest thing that he will get to Vincent Kompany is if he wears the number 4 shirt. The closest Ferran Torres will get to David Silva is because he's wearing the 21 shirt. They're never going to be replaced again. The players like that are never going to be replaced again. I am buzzing to see Diaz come in because I think he's the closest possible thing we can get. 6'2", strong, can stick in a tackle, and he's young. Yeah. Exactly, that is what cool. Exactly, he can score goals too. And if you've got him who Diaz who can score a few goals and can defend, you've got Nathan Ake who, as we can see, can defend and go and score a goal. You've got Laporte who's pretty decent. He can score a goal, but. It's just, I'm happy for him to come in, but I just don't want him to be, have all this massive weight put on his shoulders and it's sidetracking off his performances. He could put in a good performance for 5 games, have one off game, and then be classed as, he's never going to get to Vincent Kompany's level. People just need to realise that, he just needs to settle in. He's got a humongous weight on his shoulders here. To come in and try and replace Vinny Kompany. And let's be fair, there's not many people that City would choose to do that. So he's got that on his shoulders as well. So I'm just hoping he comes in, he plays well, and he can sort something out. Because let's be honest, it can't get worse than 5-2, can it?
Well, Donovan Wheeler, Ruben Dias is not the answer to him. Probably on the same level as Aka.
That's not true.
Everyone is hyped about him.
Well, just
1 minute, Karl. I want to say one thing and then I'm going to bring you in. I want to all say on this. I will bring you in, Karl, on this.
Yep.
All I've heard in 24 hours is Kounde. 7 days ago, and don't tell lies here, guys, none of you had even heard of him. Because I haven't. And now all of a sudden, he's now the French king and he's going to be amazing. And everyone wanted Ruben Dias 6 months ago. And then Koulibaly didn't happen. And listen, I wanted Koulibaly, but Ruben Dias, I wanted more because he's younger. He can be better than Koulibaly. And he's already, he's Portuguese international. We ain't talking naffness there.
Correct.
Portuguese international.
Correct.
So, and now all of a sudden, Diaz is crap and Kounde was the answer. When I'm going to ask you all a question now, I'm going to get who did he play for before, Seville? He's only been at Seville for 12 months.
Right. He was in France, I believe.
He was at Bordeaux before then.
Yeah.
So come on, guys. Let's not pretend that you all know you've watched him. Karl, go on, mate.
Well,
go on, Tom. I'll let Tom finish.
I was just going to say before you start on that, I didn't know who Laporte was before we signed him. I'm just going to say that. I'd never heard of Laporte before we signed him. So, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, he's one of them, innit, But yeah, sorry, Karl.
Well, so the upside for me from today, and I'll build on what Kurt mentioned earlier on, is the fact that I'm looking forward to having the full squad back, right? It can't get worse than this, right? Looking to have a left back, Ake, Laporte, Diaz, and Cancelo or Walker. Right now, probably leaving Cancelo at this point in time. Having Foden in the middle as number 8, Kevin as number 8, Rodri as a 6. And have a front three of Sterling, Aguero, and Torres. I'm looking forward to seeing that team play. And maybe we'll turn it around. But right now, with everybody out, we just have to say, okay, it's one of those days, sweep it under the rug and move on. As long as we get the centre back that we're trying to get in. And maybe a striker. Who knows? Maybe we can get Cavani or maybe get somebody in to help out as the third striker on occasion. But Diaz was the actual player of the tournament for the final for the UEFA Nations League. Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the whole game again yesterday, and he was really good. He was really
the only times I've seen him play was when he played in the Nations League. For thing, I don't watching Liga Nos. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
I watched him. I mean, I started watching Diaz in the Nations League because say when Diaz came on my radar was about 18 months ago when Man United were after him, and Man United were really big after him, and I thought I need to go and watch this lad and see what he's like. And I didn't watch a lot of him for Benfica, admit that. I watched him for Portugal. And I thought he's silver 6 foot, he's big, he's strong. Not the quickest, won't lie, not the quickest. But I think we've seen Pep doesn't do quick, pacey centre-backs, doesn't do it. He wants someone who can distribute, who can bring the ball out, who's comfortable with it.
Can I just make a point? Sam Elliott chats I was just about to bring up the exact same point, but he just put it perfectly. He just says, I think Kounde was a great player, but he's not what we need. I never understood it because we went from a player who was a proper leader, Koulibaly, to an inexperienced youngster, Kounde. And that was the thing that never made no sense to me. Yeah. How do we go from needing a leader, Vincent Kompany, like an experienced guy who's ready to come do it now, to a 21-year-old? That's the part that never made any sense to me. So I think Diaz, from what I see, he seems like a leader. He seems like a good player, and he's a middling ground. He's not young. He's not 21, but he's not 29. He's not on his last contract, So, but I only ever saw him play for Portugal, and I thought he was good for Portugal. But Portugal are a very, very good side. So, but I never watched him play for Benfica.
Yeah, guys, can we play nice in the comments? Some people are going way as we're going along here.
Yeah, right, it's nearly as bad as Benjamin Mendy in those comments. Nearly as bad as him. Nearly as bad as him. I don't think it's got to that point yet.
No. Well, Mr. Anonymous, while you start having an argument with the guy who runs the channel, you start with the guy who runs the channel. So you see if you win that one in the comments, mate. Right. There's what? Just over a week left in the transfer window, I think. Start with you, Kurt. Is Ruben Dias the end, or are we expecting a busy week?
I think we're gonna have a look at people, but I think that's going to be it. Personally, I would like to see a striker come in, but I don't think it's going to happen this window.
Sorry.
I just don't see who else we're going to get in for the positions we need this window that are going to be better than the players we already have here. I don't know. but I could be wrong.
Karl?
There is a guy, unfortunately, at Napoli that's better than Mendy. Fauzi Gulam. You know him? He's a left back.
Sorry.
Fauzi Gulam. He's a pretty good left back. He doesn't play much for Napoli, but he's somebody that we could use. Or you could go for Gosens of Atalanta. He plays the left full back, and he's pretty good. So we need to solve that problem right away. If we solve the left back problem and get Diaz in and everybody's fit, then I think we have a chance.
I think Ake will play a lot of games at left back this season. Personally,
Agree with you.
I read somewhere that City were off, or looking at, or talking about Tagliafico.
He's not bad either.
He's a good, it'll be cheap. It'll be a cheaper option, and his experience is 27, 28, right?
Yeah.
Tagliafico is Moroccan international, right? Is he Moroccan?
Yeah.
Is he Moroccan? Yeah.
Or I think Argentinian. Is he Argentine?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is Argentinian.
Yeah. I'll let you know now.
We've let go. We've let go of one.
Yeah.
We've let go of one. Yeah, we've let go of one amazing Argentinian centre back.
We love
so
our
we might bring in
Argentinians.
another one.
You got to bring in a friend for Aguero, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Zagon, Ajax only want 30 million for him.
He's a cheap option for the left back, and he's experienced. Played
I'm not
European
worried
football.
about it. That's good enough. Lee Chappie's in the chat. Our first Jamie Vardy scored an hat-trick today. Our first 3 wins at the start of the top flight ever season. They sound like Everton fans, mate.
Yeah.
I don't City just going off 100 million for Haaland. It's worth the go because you can get him for 70-odd million in 6 months. So why would we do that deal? And Mendy, Zinchenko, who can be the crappiest? We need a striker on loan. Do you know what? I wouldn't rule out that Pardo.
And that's what I've said. I said it last week, didn't I, guys? I know got a lot of hate in the comments last week after my fan cam saying I was negative because I knew something like this was going to happen, and I knew that. I wish I didn't knew it because I'd have put a bet on it then, and I might have had a bit of money from it. So I wish I did knew that. I wish I did know it were going to happen. But the striker thing needs to be sorted out. We can't go on. You know, Jesus has gone from 3 weeks to a month within a 24 hour, within 5 hours. Within 5 hours, it went from 3 weeks to a month. Aguero within 2 days has gone from he's going to be back maybe for the first game to 2 months. You know, we need to get somebody in, whether it's a loan or something like that. I know. I'd love to see. You want mine?
Who does this David support? Does anyone know? Doesn't work.
Never heard of him.
Does someone want to tell him we've only got 12 fit players?
No, I'm sure he watches Tranmere Rovers week in, week out, right?
We've got 12 fit players, mate. So it's not about spend. It's getting to a point where bring your boots, you'll get a game.
He's probably a Macclesfield Town fan.
Oh, week in, week out, 25 years, I'm sure, yeah.
Andy said you'll be 6 or 10, Chapper. Go on, Tom. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. It was just. We need to bring somebody in the attacking role. We brought in our defender now. Fingers crossed we're bringing him in. Diaz. You know, you've got Ake and Laporte as your 2 at the left centre backs. You've got Stones if he's ever fit, and then you'll have obviously Diaz there, which is I think a good two together. Good partnerships there because I thought Stones in his return game played really, really well. And if he plays like that when he plays, then he's coming back to what we wanted, something like that from him. So if he plays like that, then happy days. But yeah, striker is what we need, whether it's a loan or a 20 million. You know, I would love to see Edin Dzeko come back because he's on the move. That'd be just what we need.
He's gone to Juventus, mate.
Yeah. Has he gone? Well, that's a brilliant signing. Well done to Juventus. Brilliant signing. You've got a legend there who we shouldn't have let go. We should not have let Edin Dzeko go.
Cavani.
I'd take that if it's a year. I would take that. He's a goal scorer. He knows what he's doing. We can't mess around now. It don't need to be somebody. Manchester City. Yeah, Manchester City. Yeah, Manchester City for life just said Milik.
Milik,
you know, if we get him in.
Absolutely, Milik is good.
Anybody.
Wolfsburg, mate, 6'6". Just saying.
Oh, sorry, super chat. Heard City are looking at Milik on loan.
Yeah.
That would be good business. Very good business.
Only problem is Napoli. That's the issue.
Yeah, but a loan's a lot easier to get through than a transfer for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially a transfer of the size of money they were looking for. Milik, paid 12 million or whatever, 5 million, 10 million for a loan year.
And he has 1 year left on his contract, Milik.
Exactly.
So
exactly. I'd take Cavani. That'd be a brilliant signing. That'd be brilliant. Somebody that's physical, he can score, and he can stick an head on it as well, which is with Benjamin Mendy's crosses.
Get your Overtage back.
Bloody hell. To be fair, if it's the only option, do it. No, I'm joking. I'd rather have Benjamin Mendy up front than Jovetic. Oh dear.
Only popping off. Get him back. Barry Conlon. No one in the comments has a clue who Barry Conlon is. They're all starting going, Barry who? Anyway, right. I'm going to end it there. Has anyone got any last points? Because I'm back on again in an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know if anyone knows.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to finish their last points?
No.
I just got one thing, and it's just reiterating a point I already made, and it's just we haven't had a lot of time with the lads, especially the lads that come in. We've got a lot of players to come back. There's a lot of games left to play in the season. Things aren't going to get worse than this. They're going to get better. It wasn't a great day today, but we'll move on to Wednesday, and hopefully we can do Burnley in the cup.
Yeah, we've got a game where, listen, big week, and personally, I think we're in for a big couple of weeks, 8 days. We will do a live stream on the transfer window because I think, like I said, City have got a really massive week coming up. And I think you guys, I don't think Ruben Dias will be the only one. And I think in 7 days, we'll look back on this. Yeah, it's been a bad result and we all got our hands up. It's been crap. We played bad today. Us as City fans, we've never denied that, even though everyone else in the comments is going, excuses.
3 penalties.
Yeah. We played bad. We know that. Well, no, we played 50 minutes bad. 40 minutes, we dominated the damn game.
Yeah.
So let's not all split wrist, hang ourselves, and that's the end of the world. 12 fit players, not making excuses. If Liverpool had Van Dijk, Mane, Salah, Firmino, Ronaldo, and 2 other people out injured, and you're sticking in your kids, come on, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say before we leave, congratulations. Obviously, I always like doing this if we've lost. Fair play to Leicester. You fully deserved that performance, and well done for coming and scoring 5 at the Etihad. The last time somebody had scored 5 at the Etihad is 1989. So congratulations for the win. You fully deserve it. And also, before we go as well, no matter what anybody says about him, all the best to Nicholas Otamendi in his next chapter at Benfica, and thank you for the 5 years that you've given us, because you've been there, you've stuck through the team through thick and thin, through 2 managers. You've been there when we've needed you. You've scored some important goals at Old Trafford away. You've scored some very valuable goals, and you've always been the general for us and showed passion every time you put on the City every time you put the City shirt on. So thank you to Nico for all you've done for us, and obviously all the best for the next chapter in Benfica.
Especially the one season he had for us in 2017-18, world class for that year.
Yeah,
I echo that. Thank you so much, the general. Nicholas Otamendi. It wasn't everyone's cup of tea, we know that. But out of all the fans we've all got our favourites. We've not all got our favourites. If we all agreed, it'd be bloody boring, I assure you now. Football's opinions, and we all love to have one. But guys, big thank you to Nicola Otamendi. You are the general. And best of luck at Benfica. I hope you end your career really well. Thank you for your 8 years, is it? At City now.
And he gets to upset some Porto fans again, so I'm sure he'll be happy about it.
Karl, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'll just say that.
Just let me block a couple of idiots. Go on.
No, I'll just say that the thing we all feared happened today, and so that's the bottom. Hopefully, the only way is up.
Yeah, don't worry, Andy. I've got rid of him, mate. I know you're not bothered, but they're gone. They are gone. Sam Elliott, thanks, Tom, Kurt, Martin, and Karl for another cracking show. It is. Good luck, Otamendi, says Jack Lee. Yeah. We did okay for 30 minutes, I suppose. When you play our line, you get caught. Exactly. I still say Harvey Barnes was quality today. He was quality all over the pitch, and so was Vardy.
All their forward players played really well today.
I'd take Jamie Vardy. I'd take Jamie Vardy.
These games will happen. These games will happen this year, and we just have to. No team's going to go undefeated. No team's going to go on because it won't happen. It will not happen. Not this year. Not with everything that's going on. Are we down? Of course we are. We got beat 5-2. But, trust me, we'll come back and we'll come back stronger. So we've got everyone's fit. Ruben Dias in the door, and maybe one or two others. Things will look a whole lot brighter. Because if we go out and we beat Burnley and we beat Leeds next week, that's what? 4 wins out of 5? We can't really be that worried then, can we? 4 wins out of 5. Let's look at it in a positive manner instead of, I'm sure well, I'll never know. And then worst comes to worst, in January, we're going to buy the best player in the world. So listen, I ain't that bothered. Guys, I want to thank Kurt for coming on again, buddy.
Thanks very much. Great show, guys.
Karl, thank you, buddy, for coming on. You've been amazing. Tom, you're smiling for the first time in a while. Thank you very much, buddy.
Don't worry, the beard will be growing even more. I will look like Otamendi by the end of this month.
What?
Well, not the end of this month. The next month. There's not much time, and there's not much time if it's the end of this month. It's only a few days.
I was going to bring up. There was a comment Andy made. I just want to. Oh, here we go. Well done, Martin. Part 2 down. Yeah. The MCC show next at 9 o'clock. Come and join me and Chris Baker, Doom and Gloom, with the 4th latest edition live of the Empty Seat Show. We ain't telling you who's going to be in it, but I can assure you it's going to be busy. I promise you that, because we will tweet it out once he's on the show. So look out for the tweets from me, and we'll tweet that out, guys. But guys, thank you so much to the 3 amigos down there. City got beat 5-2. It's not what we wanted, but onwards and upwards. 12 only fit players, not making things, but Leicester played very well, and they deserve the 3 points. Congratulations to them, and all the best for the rest of the season to Leicester City. We're going to win the title. We're going to have to do it the hard way. But if you look back every time we've done it, apart from the 1-year season, we do tend to like it to do it the hard way. But maybe it's an omen. We'll have to wait and see. Guys, take care. Have a great evening. Don't let it get you down. It's only a game of football. Take care. And as always, up the Blues. Come and join us at 9 o'clock. Take care.